Every year we spend £13 billion fighting drug-related crime. The drug dealers make £5.6 billion a year. James Hall is a convicted dealer who worked in organised crime. He sold recreational drugs to fund his own heroin habit. It was a very lucrative business, and he once enjoyed a flash car and a flat in Belgravia.
So how did you go from sort of petty dealer to moving into the to Mayfair?
We approached the security and said, do you mind if we operate in your club? It cost us 40 grand a year to work in their club, but then we had carte blanche then to sell in their club. We did very well, you know. We used to make 2 to 3 grand profits every weekend. I would earn 150 grand a year. Well, that's what I'd come home with. People want to take drugs. It's not about stopping supplies, it's about stopping demand. People want to take drugs. Everyone says, oh, you can get them on every corner of the streets, and I think it's a cliche. It's not a cliche, it's the truth.
Absolutely right.
You know, you can get them everywhere. Cocaine, heroin, blindfold me, give me an hour, take me anywhere, give me 50 quid, I'd score.
So when did that sort of start to lose its attraction?
The more successful you become, you start to attract a nastier type of person. And
you felt threatened?
Well, I was threatened, and it wasn't very nice. No. And then I just thought, you know, there was guns about. I had a gun pulled on me. I was mugged with a gun. It come to a point where I knew when I was taking heroin, and I thought to myself, well, you know, if I get caught, they'll lock me up for this. I got caught 3 times.
With what effect?
Jailed.
Did you do any good?
No. I'll tell you what did do good. It turned me into a much, much better criminal.
Many police and medical experts now believe that our drug problem can only be dealt with by taking drugs out of the control of the criminals. One of those is former Chief Constable Tom Lloyd, who once patrolled these drug-infested streets in London's West End.
So, from a policeman's point of view, are we winning the war on drugs?
We're comprehensively losing it. It's very frustrating. We must be spending about £1 billion a month on policing the drugs problem, and it is a complete failure.
So why is it a failure?
Well, look at the last 30 or 40 years. Who's in charge now of the drugs market in this country? The criminals are. And they must be laughing at us. You think of the profits they make. They make £97 out of every 100. They're winning the war. We win the occasional battle. But when we do, somebody else steps up to take their place. Because the addict on the street still wants a fix.
Absolutely.
You know, anywhere here, you wouldn't necessarily be able to spot it, but there'll be deals going on in a doorway, in an alleyway. It's happening all the time. And it's from that, those little small deals that perhaps seem insignificant on their own, that this huge multi-billion-pound industry grows. And that's what we've got to get to grips with.
So, from a police perspective, what's the answer, Tom?
Prescribe heroin, take back control from the drug dealers, reduce crime, reduce harm, and bring huge benefits all round.
Half Britain's crime is drug-related. 70% of prisoners are inside for drug-related offences, and in some jails, 80% are hard drug users. We repeatedly jail a few thousand addicts whose crimes have been committed largely to support their habit.
I've been inside about 37 times because of heroin.
I got 18 months for stealing 2 handbags.
I spent about 10 years locked up.
Punishing drug addicts not only costs us a fortune, but it doesn't work. In those countries in Europe where heroin is available legally, they've seen a drop in drug addiction of almost 80%.
15 years ago, the Swiss had one of the highest rates of drug addiction and AIDS in Europe. They decided to radically change their drug laws. To combat the spread of the disease, 6,000 clean needles were dispensed every day in a Zurich park. In this safe zone, addicts could shoot up openly. Shocked by the thousands of addicts who came forward, the government swiftly took control of the illegal market. They stopped criminalising heroin use and made it a medical issue instead. Clinics were set up where addicts, now patients, were given as much heroin as they needed. The results have been astonishing. Drug crime and deaths have fallen dramatically, and addiction has gone down by 90%. Prescribing heroin has almost eradicated the Swiss drug problem. Addicts can now lead normal lives, and because heroin is no longer seen as cool and rebellious, far fewer young people are drawn to it in the first place. The opposite is true in the UK, where we have an explosion of heroin addiction among teenagers.
I've been on heroin since I was 13, just before 14.
I've been a heroin addict 10 years.
I got into heroin because of the death of my daughter.
Yeah, I want to change. I don't want this lifestyle.
I just want to wake up in the morning and not need heroin.
Sexual, physical abuse.
I've lost my children. I've lost my life.
Heroin addiction actually affects all of us, and for the past 30 years, it's been getting steadily worse. As a former drug addict myself, doctor, and now drugs counsellor, frankly, I'm sick of the continuing suffering I see amongst addicts, and I'm angry about the chaos they create for the rest of us. Politicians, both in and out of government, need to be brave, and they need to be radical. Prescribing heroin to addicts is the solution. It's time we took it.